Hi and welcome to TRX Bench. Today here I have a noise eliminating DSP module which goes into a Yaesu 817. So you all know 817, and this module is especially designed from BHI to go into an 817, and so let's do the procedure to get it in this little radio and let's see how it performs. Alright, and let's see what we have here in the box. So it comes with this installation and operating manual, so that is very useful for the installation. And let's see what we have here in the box. And yeah, you see here a nice ESD bag. So let's go for ESD protection as well by using here my wristband to be sure not to kill the module directly from the beginning. And here it is. So you see it is a little PCB, and here we have our DSP, and as I said, it is for installing it directly into the 817, and according here to our user manual, you see that this is recommended for the Yaesu FT-817, the ICOM 706, and the Kenwood TS50, but of course it can be used for many different radios as well. But BHI has tested it with this models, and they of course guarantee that it will work very nice with one of those models. And so we have the 817, and let's see what we need to do to get it in. So you see here different wires, and you see here, so that is where you operate the module from, because of course you can switch it in and you can switch it out, and you have, I believe, 3 different filter stages. So that is what you do with this little let me call it user panel, I don't know. And so that has to go into the lid, so we have to do some mechanical work, and this here is recommended to put it onto our main PCB on the radio. So let's go step by step, and I show you how this module has to go in. And of course here in the manual we have some explanations about what the module is doing, and you see this here is original signal, as it is called here, with a lot of noise. So that is the speech here, and in between we have the noise, and then we have here a processed speech. And what we see is basically that the speech is more or less the same, but our signal, our noise is lower. And that means, in theory, that our signal to noise ratio is better. And if it is better, you really should have a much better reception on a very noisy signal. Because as always, if you can improve the signal to noise ratio by not touching the signal itself, so the speech, you should really be able to get really a signal out of the noise, and that means in theory you should be able to hear very, very low and noisy signals. And that is what this DSP noise cancellation module is for. And yeah, let's see if it really works in practice like it is here described in or on theory. And they explain here a little bit how it works and where we have to put it. And you see our module has to go between the preamplifier and the power amplifier. And therefore we have to take out the coupling capacitor between our preamp and our power amp or final audio amp. So we have to remove the coupling capacitor, and instead we put here our module in line. So by the way, the kit name is this naming here, NEDSP1061 KBD. So that is the number given by BHI. Okay, so let's crack open our 817 and let's see how we can handle this installation. And here in our manual we have an appendix for the 817, and here are some descriptions, and this might be important to us because here you see where the recommended place for our DSP module could be. So they are stating if there is no filter unit here in the radio, like in this radio as well, so they recommend to put here our module here into this place here, and with the module we get here a double-sided sticky tape, and you already see it is exactly fitting here onto our DSP when I put here my plus wire away, so I can put it here onto the DSP, and then I can put it upside down here into this area where we would have normally a filter. And as long there is no filter here in the radio, that is a recommended place, and we will definitely follow this recommendation here. Okay, and other than that, we have this wire here, and that is what goes between our preamp and the main amp, so input and output. Don't know right now if blue or red input or output is, no problem, so we will find it in the instruction. Here we have ground, that is the shield here of our audio wires, and it goes to ground, of course. Then we have here a ground, which is recommended to put it here under this screw. And then the last what we have here is the plus wire, which goes to our regulator, which is here on the board. So we simply solder it to the plus pole, and then that it is. And then of course we have to install here a little user panel, but first let's go step by step. And therefore first we have to take out here our main board as our coupling capacitor or the audio circuit is underneath here our main board, and thus that will be our first step to take main board out, take then our coupling capacitor out, and then we can install our audio wires to our board. Alright, and here is our main board ready for taking our little coupling capacitor out. And yeah, let me zoom in to the board, and then we see our coupling capacitor, which is this little guy here, and that will be our next step to take it out. Alright, our little capacitor is out, and I've already cleaned here the pads a little bit, and yeah, here is our capacitor just lying here on the PCB, and here the Q-tip, just for comparison the size of the little guy here. Okay, so now let's go and let's connect here our audio wires to our fresh and free solder points that we can go ahead. Okay, so our wires are soldered in as shown in our instruction manual. So screen first, then blue, and then red. To be honest, these solder points down here are really very delicate, and if you're not familiar with soldering SMD parts, so I really cannot recommend to do it by your own. So yeah, it is really tiny, the pads are really small, and you really need the right solder tip to do this job, and you really should do jobs like this before, so be warned. And before we go ahead, I always fix it here with some hot glue. You know, this wiring is so delicate that you easily can you know, get these wires off the board, and you may also pull the pads, and therefore it is always a good idea to put here some hot glue to the wiring. Then it is safe and can't move that much, and that makes it really easier in our next step. Alright, so we can go ahead, and I put the PCB back into our chassis, and then we can move on with our wiring and with gluing down our DSP, which is here. And yeah, so let's see that I can get it back in. Okay, so our board is in, and our wiring is so far done. So you see down here our PCB, and you see the wiring. Here is a wire which is going to the underneath contacts, and here is our voltage regulator connected to our DSP. So everything is done so far. Left is our mechanical work to get here our user face into our lid. Okay, but before we go ahead, we just want to do here a quick check. So therefore, Yeah, let me see. I lift it up a little bit here that we can better see our display. Now let me switch on the radio. And okay, so there is no signal to the radio, it's only the noise, and we see, so that should be the red color of our LED, and that means that here our voice cancellation or our noise cancellation is switched off. Now with a short, we switch it in, so maybe you can already hear that there is a difference in the noise. We do it again, so off. I do it a bit louder, and now on. Yeah, and you hear it is not that strong, so let me see if I can change the level. Level 2, 3, 4, and off. Yeah, so we can hear we really can hear the difference. Yeah, so you know that will not really tell us if the noise cancellation is efficient, so that only tells that our DSP unit is working, so that is just fine, and therefore everything is fine, so we can go ahead. So that is what we will do right now. Okay, according to our planning here, we have to drill 2 holes for our user interface, and therefore we have 49 millimeters, and then between these both holes we have 5.1 millimeters, and here from our face here we have 17 millimeters, and that is what I have already marked here on my lid, so you can see this both dots down there, and that are exactly the points where I have to drill my holes. So we have to drill with where is it, with 4 millimeter and with 3.5 millimeters, so that we can then put our little PCB under it. Alright, mechanical work is done, and we can go now ahead with finalizing our project. Okay, so we have installed here our user interface, as you can see. So here's a little metal holder which holds here our little PCB in place, and from the other side we have the LED, and we have of course here our switch, and you see now it is switched in, and now it is switched off. So as we said before, when it is red, that means that our DSP is switched off. So that is our status right now. After we have finalized it, we have this little sticker which goes over our LED and our little push button, and I guess that looks pretty nice. Then yeah, we will see it. Let me now install it. So let me bring the lid back, and yeah, then we are nearly ready here with what we have to do. One hint I want to give you. So we have here a little red LED, and that is an overload indication. So if you have installed your little circuit and it is connected between, so you know where we have connected it, between our preamplifier and our final audio amplifier, and if the level from our preamplifier is too strong, then we would get here a flashing LED, and then you have reduced this level by here our pot, and another pot what we have down there is for the beep volume, and then the other one is for the audio volume, so at the output of this little circuit. So that is what you might need to adjust a little bit. This here is fine. It was perfectly adjusted by the factory, so I do not need to touch this little pots. So, but that is really not a big deal, so everybody can really handle that. Okay, so let me go ahead and then yeah, let's see what the outcome will be. Okay, so it is ready so far, and let's try if we can get it here over the camera microphones, what the impact of this DSP filter is. So for the moment in time it is switched off as we see the red light, and let me see if we can show it. So first of all, there is static, right?
Yeah, Roger, good copy, no problem my friend. Thank you so much, good day, excellent signal.
Filter is in.
Ciao. Good luck, Alpha 621.
Filter out.
Clear bed. Alpha 61 Fox Kilo, 61 Florida Kilo, clear bed.
So the noise is really going down, so I hope you can hear that. It is hard to show, especially here over the camera. Let's see. So that is without filter, with filter. Okay, it is really hard to demonstrate here, but I can tell you so far that with filter it is easier to understand what the old man is talking. So you really recognize that the signal to noise ratio is improving. And yeah, so you definitely hear a difference. But the best is to listen to a radio which has really installed this BHI module to judge for yourself if you would like it or not. So that is something you need to figure out for your own. So you really have to play with the different filter levels. so you know we have more than only one, and therefore, yeah, the only recommendation what I could give you is try it for your own, because you really need to know if you like it or not. The only thing I can say, yes, there is an improvement of the signal to noise ratio, and yeah, that's it. And over the camera we can't really demonstrate it. So yeah, let me stop this experiment right here. Alright, and we are at the end of our video. So now you see here the sticker. So that was the last step, and job is done. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Bye.